Question 23. So, Harley's house has a value of 160,000 corrected two significant figures. So that means only allowed to use two numbers which are not a naught. Write down the least possible value of the house. Well, 155,000 is as low as you can go, because if you were going to round this to two significant figures, that would round up. So that would give you 160,000. And similarly, what's the greatest possible value for the house? 165,000. Well, it's about a penny less than this, but for bound purposes we keep the symmetry. So 165,000 is just slightly above what would round down to the 160,000. So just we're clear, I mean, if you like, this should be £164,999.99. But for the purposes of bounds questions, they expect you to keep the symmetry. This is 5,000 below this. This is 5,000 above this. So just so we're clear again, if you were asked to round either of these numbers to two significant figures, you would get 160,000. Now for part B, we're told her house, Rita's house increased by 5%. Her house then had a value of 210. Work out the value of Rita's house before the increase. Now I think for questions like this, I always just like to have the three columns: an original price, the price change, and the final price, and always just slot 100 into the original. So that then means, because we're dealing in percentages, a 5% increase is going to be 5 onto 100. 100 add 5 is 105. This allows us to get the multiplier. The multiplier to get from the original to the final would be multiplying by 1.05, because 100 times 1.05 is 105. So going left to right, I go and multiply by 1.05. So given I've got to go from the final to the original, I'm going to do the opposite, the inverse operation, which is dividing by 1.05. 210,000 divided by 1.05 gives me the original price of Rita's house before the price increase of £200,000.